Good Thursday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, as always, let's take a look outside our weather window and check it out how things look this afternoon. Today we're heading up north into Okanagan country, and this is our Billy Goat camera looking down where the Methow River meets the Columbia River of Brewster and Pateros in the shot, and also a little bit of haze, and that haze, of course, coming from that Palmer fire, which is burning near Tonasket and Oroville area. Of course, that's almost contained, but you can see just a little bit of haze up there. But what a beautiful day once again today. It's kind of like a broken record this week. We'll talk more about that later. But here's a look at the next 5 days, and our temperatures heading down. Today, 87. That was right on the money. We could get to 90 tomorrow here in the Wenatchee area. 83 for Saturday, and then look at those temperatures on Sunday and Monday with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Much more weather coming your way a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A 72-year-old Ephrata woman has died from injuries she sustained in a head-on vehicle accident earlier this month. Chelan County Commissioners have announced new short-term rental rules. And Chelan City Councilman Ray Dobbs announced Tuesday he's stepping down from his post and moving to East Wenatchee. But first we begin tonight. A Burlington Northern Santa Fe train struck a semi-truck today at a railroad crossing near Rock Island. The collision happened at about 11 a.m. when the semi hauling orchard chemicals traveled through the crossing and was struck by the train at low speed. BNSF says its crew was unharmed and the crossing had working gates and signals. The collision caused a spill from the semi-trailer, and the Douglas County PUD briefly shut down power to about 700 customers to prevent a risk of fire. The crash is under investigation. A 59-year-old Wenatchee man was killed yesterday afternoon when the tractor he was driving was struck from behind on State Route 2 just west of Dryden. The Washington State Patrol reports that Ruben Pancheco Lopez was driving a Kubota orchard tractor westbound on the highway when it was struck from behind by a Dodge Dakota pickup being driven by 32-year-old Derek Cooch of Leavenworth. Pacheco was thrown from the tractor and pinned underneath. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A passenger in that pickup, 32-year-old Deepak Gohil, was injured and taken by ambulance to Central Washington Hospital. The driver of the pickup and two child passengers, ages 5 and 6, were not injured. Westbound traffic on the highway was backed up for nearly 3 miles, almost to Kashmir, during the investigation. Troopers say they'll seek charges against Cooch for that accident. Well, a 72-year-old Ephrata woman has died from injuries she sustained in a head-on vehicle accident earlier this month. The Washington State Patrol says Lee O. Hampton died August 18th at Sacred Heart Hospital in Spokane. Hampton was driving south on Highway 17 north of Moses Lake on August 4th when a 1997 Oldsmobile Bravada crossed the center line and collided head-on with a 2018 Toyota RAV4 that was driven by 39-year-old Gregory Lisowick of Wenatchee. Lisowick was treated for his injuries at Samaritan Hospital in Moses Lake. The State Patrol said Hampton was not wearing a seatbelt and Lisowick was. Well, amid an ongoing process to craft rules around short-term rentals, the Chelan County Commissioners have placed another moratorium on the practice. The first moratorium back in spring prevented short-term rentals to any customer except essential workers. The new one, passed Tuesday, prohibits permitting or designation of vacation rentals throughout unincorporated areas of the county for 6 months. Commissioners hope to finalize new rental rules during that time. The county is being sued by a coalition of vacation home operators who say the planning process has violated both the Open Meetings Act and Governor Inslee's emergency public health rules during the COVID-19 pandemic. In other news, Chelan City Councilman Ray Dobbs announced on Tuesday he's stepping down from his post and moving to East Wenatchee. Dobbs has served 5 years on the council and several years prior to that on the Planning Commission. Mayor Bob Getty said the city is accepting letters of interest from residents interested in filling Dobbs' seat on that city council. Coming up next, almost 24 doctors and health professionals have urged the Moses Lake School District to drop plans for in-person classes this fall. The North Central Washington Fair in Waterville may be called off due to coronavirus, but the traditional youth livestock auction is happening right now. Starting in September, the state will be using drones in the Wenatchee River watershed to identify and inventory salmon spawning nests. And the Wenatchee Wastewater Treatment Plant has won an award. We'll tell you about that. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I have fiber at home because it allows me to do a great job in my profession. It allows me to learn things that I need to learn at home. It allows my kids to hopefully one day be able to be educated because of what they learned online and what they learned from their teachers. And it allows us to have fun too as a family. And we're able to do a lot of things because of fiber internet. I'm Rudy, and my family learns with fiber.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Welcome back. In another news, almost 24 doctors and health professionals have urged the Moses Lake School District to drop plans for in-person classes this fall. All say COVID-19 poses too great a risk for students to gather in classrooms. The chief medical officer for Samaritan Healthcare and a pediatrician with Confluence Health are among the 23 signers. The Moses Lake School Board voted this month to offer in-person learning as an option for school children, despite warnings from the Grant County Health Department. The letter reads, quote, "It is irresponsible to hold in-person classes at this time, and we implore you to reconsider your decision," unquote. Classes are set to begin on September 14th. Well, the NCW Fair in Waterville may be called off due to coronavirus, but the traditional youth livestock auction is happening right now. Young animal breeders from Douglas County are offering the cattle, goats, and other farm animals they've raised through Chuck Yarborough's Auctioneers of Moses Lake. You can log into the Yarborough site anytime through 3 p.m. tomorrow to enter your bid. Most of the young wranglers are local 4-H members who've worked all year to bring their animals to market. Well, starting in September, the state will be using drones in the Wenatchee River watershed to identify and inventory salmon spawning nests. The Department of Fish and Wildlife and Washington State University research project is expected to last through November. The drones will concentrate on 3 areas: the lower Wenatchee River near Dryden, Blackbird Island in Leavenworth, and near the Tumwater Campground. Fish and Wildlife says using drones is less expensive and time-intensive than the manual counts that have been used in the past. The drones will fly once or twice a week for about an hour and at a time, and usually in the morning hours. Well, keeping wastewater treatment up to standards is not easy. Only about a third of Washington's 300 wastewater plants manage to meet all standards and deadlines for a given year. The Department of Ecology says in 2019, treatment plants in the Wenatchee Valley did just that. The Wenatchee Wastewater Treatment Plant won Ecology's Outstanding Performance Award for the year, as did facilities serving Cashmere, Chelan, Rock Island, and Bridgeport. 8 other sites in Grant and Okanagan counties were also recognized. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
The two hottest pickups in America are at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, the Ram 1500 with back-to-back Truck of the Year awards from Motor Trend, and now the Car and Driver 10 Best list for 2020. They call it a luxury sedan with pickup capabilities. Ram is on a roll now with third-generation eco-diesel power. Next up, the Jeep Gladiator, also a 2020 10 Best model based on the new award-winning Jeep Wrangler. It has options and capabilities that no other truck can offer. Two more reasons when it comes to buying a truck: there's no reason to leave town.
Hi, Stephen DeVilbiss here, Branch Manager of Beneficial and Home Care. We are an equal opportunity employer and we do not discriminate in employment or services. It is our mission to maximize our clients' physical health and sense of mental well-being while remaining in the comfort of their home. We are currently seeking professional caregivers who share our mission to help our clients live safely and comfortably at home. Call Beneficial and Home Care. Schedule your interview today, 509-663-7900.
Nissan is the value leader in new cars and SUVs. Check out these new models starting at under $20,000. The all-new Versa from $17,020. The all-new Sentra from $17,400. And the all-new Kicks from $17,995. Now you can have the Nissan style, performance, and reliability, all for under $20,000.
And they're all here at Town Nissan, up behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Last week, State Secretary of Health John Weisman ordered Gebbers Farms in Brewster to test all of its employees for COVID-19. That directive came after a major outbreak in Gebber farm worker housing sites and the deaths of 3 employees from the virus. In tonight's feature story, Weisman gives an update on that intensive screening effort.
After a large outbreak at Gebbers Farm starting in July, I issued an order to help protect those critical workers and ensure a safer work environment. As I mentioned last week, the department is providing personnel, supplies, and materials to support the testing effort there. Our team on the ground began collecting samples for testing last Friday, and as of yesterday, they have collected a total of 2,918 samples. The team is working to collect about 30 samples more from their workers, at which point the initial testing required in the order will be complete. And we certainly remain committed to doing everything we can to help protect those workers and slow the spread of COVID-19 in this outbreak.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get to those details, outside we go up into Okanogan County today. This is our Billy Goat Sky-Fi camera from Local-Tel, and it's looking down, of course, at the towns of Brewster and Pateros, the Columbia River, and the Methow River moving right into the Columbia. And it's kind of hazy up that way today. There's folks up that way are still dealing with that Palmer fire, so a little bit of that smoke is drifting over into Okanogan County today. But talk about a persistent, consistent weather forecast. Look at that beautiful shot as we look down at the Columbia River a little bit closer to home. 87, and believe it or not, that is the 4th day in a row that we have topped out at 87 degrees going back to Monday. Normally we should be at 83 now is our normal. 60 is where we started the day this morning. That's just a couple of degrees above 58, which is our normal low. Record high for the 3rd day in a row. We're going back to 2011 on this day, 96 degrees, 47 our record low in 1960. Still holding steady. Boy, we have been there there a long time at 2.66 inches of precip for the year. Sunrise 6:14, and the sun will set tonight at 7:49. I'll tell you what, Hurricane Laura has wreaked a lot of havoc down in the southeast. Now updates, 4 people dead from Hurricane Laura. It came on shore as the strongest storm ever recorded in the southeast at 150 miles an hour. Here's the trek over about the next 3 or 4 days, all the way up almost into Washington, D.C., but this storm will finally make its way east and then out right by Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but still packing a big punch inland with 80-mile-an-hour winds and lots of rain. So we'll keep you updated on that as Laura moves further inland over the next day or so. Let's take a look now at what we expect here locally as we get into your Friday forecast. Yeah, finally Friday tomorrow, and once again, we're going to stay pretty consistent for weather. In fact, even move up a few degrees. 90 for Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. We should reach 90 here in the Wenatchee area too. 88 for Leavenworth, 91 in Chelan, and our warm spot, Omak. Tomorrow you might see 92 degrees. Surface loop tonight, once again, no changes. We could have used this same surface loop for about the last 3 weeks. Clear and mild tonight. Lots of clear skies all over the western United States. Low temperatures once again tonight, about that 60-degree mark. As we get into the Friday forecast, we just told you temperatures are on their way up. That's for sure. Sunshine and just a light breeze for our Friday. If you have outdoor plans tomorrow, boy, by all means, get out there and do it. It's going to be a beautiful one because all things will begin to change as we move into our weekend forecast. After a warm day Friday, a little bit cooler Saturday, and very, very windy all across north central Washington. We could see sustained winds 20 to 30 miles an hour with 40-mile-an-hour gusts possible on Saturday. It's not going to be very friendly for us on Saturday afternoon. As we get into Sunday, mostly sunny but much cooler as we begin to see a northwesterly flow move into Washington state, and that's going to cool us down a lot. In fact, we're going to see temperatures only in the upper 70s for a high temperature on Sunday. For Monday, partly cloudy. It will be unseasonably cool once again. Our highs once again will stay only in the 70s, maybe a few high clouds around. Remember we talked about rain for Monday? Guess what? It's not going to happen. It's going to continue to get pushed up to the north as this area of high pressure begins to build, and it's a strong area of high pressure. It might kick up a little bit of wind for us on Tuesday, but we are going to see once again much warmer temperatures with highs getting back into the middle and upper 80s, and pretty much same goes for Wednesday as we get into the middle of next week. Sunshine, it will be unseasonably warm. Once again, a ridge of high pressure is pushing in over the Pacific Northwest, and we will see highs Wednesday. There's that dark color in the upper 80s, maybe even about 90 degrees. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling 7-day forecast. About 60, 59 the overnight low tonight. There's our warmest day of the forecast, 90 on Friday, before our temperatures kind of take a nosedive as we get into the weekend. That's what you remember for Saturday. Very windy, 83 degrees, and by Sunday and Monday, we haven't seen those in a while with high temperatures in the upper 70s, but then the warm-up begins on Tuesday, 86, and by the time we get into Wednesday, sunny and warm with a high temperature of 87. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's feature story, or I should say Eric Granstrom, and sports as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this. Stay with us.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tamer.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the Doghouse?
At Earthwise Pet, we take an all-natural approach to wellness and nutrition. Our professional certified groomers were trained by the best in the Pacific Northwest. Our staff here at Earthwise Pet are all certified in pet nutrition. We are here to help you select the perfect food, supplement, and anything else you may need to make sure your pet is living its best and most healthy life. Earthwise Pet, Nutrition Center and Wellness Spa. Online or in the store, we are here for you.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that
image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper. I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Thursday to you. Mariner players voted unanimously not to play last night's game in San Diego to protest racial injustice that they feel is still ongoing in this country. D. Gordon spoke for the team when he said, quote, "There are serious issues in this country. For me and for many of my teammates, the injustices, violence, death, and systemic racism is deeply personal. This is impacting not only my community, but very directly my family and friends. Our team voted unanimously not to play tonight," end quote. Marco Gonzalez also went to Twitter in support of his teammates. He said, quote, "I'm extremely proud to be part of this group. We have listened, loved, and supported one another through this time. But I'm heartbroken for my brothers and teammates who fear for their lives and their families' lives on a daily basis. This isn't about baseball right now," end quote. The Mariner organization also came out with a statement including the hashtag Black Lives Matter in saying, "The Seattle Mariners respect the team's decision not to play tonight's game. The Seattle Mariners stand with our players as they speak out with their word and actions against social injustice." Mariners and Padres game wasn't the only professional game not played last night. The Milwaukee Bucks led the way in saying they wouldn't play their playoff game against Orlando, after which all 3 playoff games were postponed. In addition, Major League games in Milwaukee and San Francisco were postponed. Here's a statement from Major League Baseball. Quote, "Given the pain in the communities of Wisconsin and beyond following the shooting of Jacob Blake, we respect the decision of a number of players not to play tonight. Major League Baseball remains united for change in our society, and we will all be allies in the right to end racism and injustice." Now, the NBA has decided to continue with its playoff series today. Mariners playing a doubleheader to make up for the game missed yesterday, and were leading late in Game 1, 3-1, both those games slated for 7 innings. Well, the Seahawks played their second mock game at CenturyLink Field Wednesday. Prior to the game, several players took a knee during the anthem in light of another shooting of a black man. Coach Pete Carroll addressed what he and his players continued to deal with.
The fact that this occurred again with the Jacob Blake, murder, and in plain view, plain sight, and all that is just such a horrific thing. That however we respond, we talked about it again today with our guys, just to try to give some moments to the thought of the families, and everybody has to go through all that stuff. There's, I heard Doc Rivers talking today, and Doc did a great job of stating that this is just ridiculous that we're putting up with this. I can't even imagine that this continues to happen. I don't know how somebody could ever do that under the circumstances and the awareness that everybody should have right now, but it continues to happen, so it continues to be a real problem. And there's a lot of problems, but that's just one of the ones that just jumps out at us. And so I really applaud those guys for taking the night, but that we all know that's not enough. It's just a statement, and what is important, and everybody that's involved knows, is what we do about it and what we keep doing to straighten things out and get things right. This whole thing is ridiculous, and anybody that doesn't recognize that just isn't paying attention.
Now, while the cameras were not allowed to show much of the action, there were some highlights. Coach Carroll says he walked away pretty happy.
This was a good day for us, really good day that we were able to get through all of the stuff we needed to get through and come back and clean some things up from week 1 when we came in the stadium. Felt like we had pretty good rhythm, with looking for the rhythm between sequences and plays and changing from offense to defense and all that, and the kicking game stuff. Again, Brian Schneider and Larry Izzo did a really good job to handle that thing today, so that was really well done. So it was good work. Saw some good stuff throwing and catching today. Russ threw the ball real nice, and guys made some nice plays. Greg Olson looked good catching the ball. DK came back with another big touchdown. Jacob Hollister looked sharp. Locke did a good job. Demo, I think David Moore had 3 catches for the day. So it was a good job of throwing the ball around. But I thought the other side of it was, I thought Carlos Hyde looked really good again. And he seems to just continue to be right on the mark. He's in there. He's going to be able to be a big factor for us.
Now, Coach Carroll said there was one noticeable absence on defense due to an accident in the home of one of the players.
Marquise Blair had a big day. You noticed that Jamal did not play today. Jamal had a domestic accident, but he cut his finger slicing some strawberries, and he hit his finger. So he had to have a few stitches, so we kept him out, not to make him have to use that thing, in case you were wondering. So it's a very minor situation. Easy for me to say. He almost cut his finger off. So, but anyway, he'll be fine. But it did give Marquise a chance to play today, and he did a nice job. Obviously, 2 huge plays, turning the ball over. Both times we've come to the stadium, I'm pleased that we've taken care of the ball on offense. It's something that, is just, it's just the foundation of what we're all about, is taking care of the ball, and so that's good that we've knocked that out for a couple weeks.
He was referring to Jamal Adams there. Marquise Blair is in his 2nd season out of Utah, and fellow defensive back Shaquille Griffin says Blair is definitely feeling more comfortable.
He's comfortable. I feel like last year, he was kind of going with the flow. He was a rookie, he was learning, but now he's playing more like a vet. Let's say that. And he's comfortable. You can feel it when he's out there with us. He don't feel like he shouldn't be out there, and that's the main part. You have people who come in and play in different groups, and they feel like they don't belong. And that's the last thing he thinks about when he's out there with us. He feels like he's a part. He feels like he's doing everything that he can do to contribute, and he's doing that. He's showing up and making the plays that we expect him to make. And, he came up big twice today, which is cool. It's cool to see that because we can expect that from him during the season. So, and it's awesome. So he's just comfortable now. It seems like he's been doing it for a while, and it's cool to see he come to his own. So he's doing an amazing job so far.
Seahawks were back at the VMAC today for more training camp, just 18 days away from their regular season opener in Atlanta, September 13th. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
And thank you very much, Eric. And as we leave you tonight, after a 2-week closure over COVID-19 concerns, the iconic Lakeview Drive Inn on Lake Chelan reopened today, citing rising coronavirus cases in Chelan County and large crowds of visitors that were packing Chelan. Ownership shuttered the popular restaurant on August 11th. The restaurant had previously had 1 employee test positive for COVID-19, but after a quarantine period, that employee was able to return to work. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Can't wait for tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday, and as you well know by now, thanks to the Gregorian calendar, Fridays are followed by Saturday and then Sunday, and here we refer to those as the weekend. I mean, think about this. It wouldn't do anybody any good at all if it was like Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday. Who would want that? We'll have your weekend weather forecast, your very windy weekend weather forecast, especially on Saturday. Grant's been addressing that. Plus, we'll have sports and news and everything you need to start your Friday and your weekend. With Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we will be live and local right here at 7 a.m. on Friday morning. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.